My first encounter with the early GBD work is literally what drove Melinda and I to make our commitment to global health. What happened was that in 1993, Chris Murray and a number of the key people who work on the GBD took the 1990 data and had it put together into a World Bank publication called the World Development Report 1993. And I can say that the GBD work has delivered on our dream of what we wanted in a very strong way. It's even better than we would have expected, and that's why recently when the sort of 10-year anniversary came up of our funding, we renewed that for another 10 years, and in fact added in a lot more activities so GBD could be a fantastic tool. What's one thing that's very impressive to me is that the GBD has emerged not only as a great tool for developing countries to understand what's going on with health, but also for middle income and rich countries. By being normative across the globe, by showing such important trends, including the rise of chronic diseases, this is an instrument that can be helpful for all governments, not just the ones that our foundation focuses on. In fact, it's a very key thing. The other area our foundation works in is education, and what we see there is that government budgets, as they're spent increasingly on healthcare, is making it harder and harder to have the resources we need for education. So you could literally say rich world health and getting that on the right trajectory and efficiency is very important for that education work. And so health costs and understanding what's going on with health is critical to literally 100% of the work we do. Well, of course, ministers of health are often on our side. We also have to get the Minister of Finance and the leader of the country engaged. One thing that I was really stunned by was that the relative performance of different countries' health systems, and Chris showed that in his the 1999 WHO document he did. There are some very poor countries who run fantastic health systems. Right. I'm often, when I'm meeting with heads of countries or ministers of finance, I'm taking that relative comparison and saying, here's countries you think of as your peers. Right. Even here's a few that are poorer than you, and here's how they do so much better in their childhood death, vaccine coverage, delivery. Today, this is particularly important as countries are considering turning inward, and all these aid budgets are at risk. The U.S. is the most prominent of those because it's the largest aid budget, and there was a particular effort to cut it, which fortunately it looks like the Congress won't go along with that, and in that particular issue, fortunately they have the final say. So, certainly I hope I'd be the first one to say that if GBD as a group, all of us here who look at the GBD, if it inspires us to be more active in going to political leaders in rich countries of how they donate, going to political leaders of these developing countries and talking to them about how they prioritize their health care, that basically describes my current job. And I do my best, and the GBD empowers me to do my best, but we need everybody here to be deeply engaged in the endeavor.